reflecting off my window into this window and then through my ring light.
Okay, nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
You look very nice as usual. So we're gonna
Thank you.
talk about a lot of topics. So I'll introduce, a lot of my followers know who you are, but some of yours may not know who I am. I'm not sure, but I wanted to kind of intro you. So first of all, how young are you?
I'm 20. I'm almost 21. In
Okay.
August, I will be.
Technically, you can't even drink yet. So we're going to talk
No,
about it.
got my water.
So it's either water or Gatorade for you. Um,
Exactly.
so we met because you were seeking out, and obviously it's out there. So you were seeking out a breast augmentation.
Yeah.
When Daisy came in, she was awesome. I forget which friend you came in with. You came with a friend, and both of you were fun, and we were talking. And I don't know how the topic came up, but obviously I'm famous for, doing buttock augmentations, doing the fat transfer BBL thing, but I call it S curve. I don't like the word BBL. And you know why I don't like BBL? I don't know if you know that.
Not really, no.
Okay. So a lot of people, a lot of surgeons don't like BBL, and actually it's Brazilian butt lift. But because the person that first coined Brazilian butt lift was not even a plastic surgeon, and also Brazilian plastic surgeons don't even like it being called Brazilian butt lift because they don't like that term for some reason. So we're starting to not call it Brazilian butt lift, but I've called it S curve all along because it's all about creating S curves everywhere. So
Yeah.
I came up with that term. But she knew that about me. She came in. She's genetically blessed in many, many ways. And when she was talking about the breast augmentation, I think you mentioned something about, it sucks. My followers always think like my butt's fake, or I had my butt.
Yeah, they're always like commenting like, oh, Photoshop, or oh, you had surgery on your butt. I'm
Yeah,
like, no, actually not.
exactly. So
Hard work.
I actually approached two other people I knew, and they never really like wanted to do it. I think maybe now they will, but they didn't want to certify their butt. And I figured if I'm an expert, it's like if you're an expert in like, building cars, or like you're a Ferrari mechanic and like you have a Ferrari coming in, you can certify that
Yeah.
Ferrari like real or worked on. So I, said, why don't I like officially certify your like figure and buttock as being real, that it's not from surgery, and you were totally fine with that. And
I thought
next,
it was a great idea, and it's like a good way to just like create a little bit of light and fun and laughter around like the comments of people like accusing me of having my butt be fake, you know? So like it wasn't even like taken too seriously where it bothered me that people were saying that. It was more of like, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity, you know? Put
exactly.
some
And
smile on people's faces too, and like show how credible you are and how
thank you.
much of an expert you are.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was cool, and I didn't think it would necessarily go as viral as it did, but it pretty much went viral. The main
I was not expecting that.
I know it went everywhere, and we got calls from like, I think TMZ picked it up, Daily Mail picked it up, and then in the
New
I had,
York Post too.
yeah, yeah, and
Crazy.
I had a friend who watches a lot of Barstool or whatever, and I didn't even know what Barstool Sports was, but they're kind of a meme sports funny video page, and they picked it up, got like 5 million views. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think that's what like also blew it up for sure. Cause like right when I posted it, they reposted it literally like
Yeah,
so like it was just crazy. Like right after they were
yeah.
looking for it.
And then me and Daisy met in Venice Beach, and basically like went to the Daily Mail studios, and we did an interview for
That's
Daisy.
right.
And so
That was
like,
my first one ever. Oh my
was
gosh,
it?
I was so nervous. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
you
like
were.
sweating too.
I remember wearing like this little jean jacket, and it was kind of cold that morning too. And then you were like, kind of like, I could tell you were a little bit skittish about it. I'd done a lot of TV and interviews and stuff, so I was all chill. But I thought you did a good job. It went smooth. And if you guys want, you can go to my YouTube. I don't know if you have it up anywhere, but it was a really good interview because we talked about like the phenomena of like social media stardom, and like
Yeah.
what that even works for someone young like you. So it was actually a pretty good interview. I'm not sure how much of it they edited out, but it even so. What would you say to somebody out there? I mean, maybe not necessarily as young as you, but somewhere in their 20s, who really has a big problem with their, because you did your breast, so obviously you're not like against plastic surgery. and we'll
No.
talk about how your breast aug experience was. But if somebody does want to like enhance their buttock, just like they want to enhance their breasts, and they go and do it safely with someone board certified like me, or what would you say to that girl or that young woman?
Um, Here's the thing is like I think plastic surgery is perfectly fine. If it makes you feel better and more confident, go for it. However, something that like I like it had to be a thing for me is like I had to love myself before I did anything to my boobs or anything like that, because I think it's important to just have that initial self-love for yourself before you do anything. That way you love yourself before and after, because like if you don't love yourself before, you're gonna get that done and you're gonna be like, okay, now what's the next thing I can change, you know? And it just like goes into this spiral of feeling insecure and bad about yourself.
Yeah.
So like that's like the number one thing I want to like make sure that girls love themselves, or guys, before they get anything done.
Yeah, I think that's very important. You do have to be comfortable in your own skin, and you have to do it for the right reasons. Like
For sure.
I've had divorcees come in, for example, who like are in the middle of a really bad, messy divorce, and they come in, they're almost like tearful, they're nervous. It's hard
Yeah.
to, and you know how I am. I try to make people laugh and smile and make them comfortable.
Yeah.
And hard to even get a smile out, a little crack of smile out of them, because they're basically really distraught over the divorce. And to me, like, and they'll even express it like, I want to do this, I'm using my divorce money. And so they're like in this anger mode, and it almost is like they're doing it for the wrong reasons. They're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it to get back at somebody. And so I usually tell them, why don't you go think about this, come back in 6 months. And a lot of times they'll come back and be a lot more comfortable. And then I think it's appropriate to proceed, because even though you could technically reverse some of the plastic surgery, you definitely need to be strong enough to handle the recovery, et cetera, et
Oh
cetera.
yeah, for sure.
And then as far as, so yeah, I'm glad you have that outlook. And I think you and the friends of yours I met all seem pretty mature. I have people come in that are in their 40s that are not as mature. So everybody, it's not really an age thing. You're very mature at your age. And there's people that come in that are 45 that like live with their parents. And that's nothing wrong with that. But like they don't really work, and they're just like kind of like still, gaming, and they're 45.
Yeah.
Don't know, like, they don't understand what I'm saying. They're not even paying attention to me describing the risks of surgery. So, it's not really an age thing.
I mean, for me, like when I moved to LA, I kind of like moved by myself. Yeah, I moved with like one of my friends, but we only knew each other 6 months before coming to LA. So really, I didn't have anyone that I was familiar or comfortable with. So I was just thrown into this crazy ass city on my own, having to learn so much. Sorry, someone just called me.
Right? Okay.
Just like taking care of myself by myself at like 18 years old, moving here with like only $1,000 a month. Like that's what I was making. Um, So I had to grow up really, really quickly. And just by nature, I've always been quite insightful. And I've always just thought long term. And like, I've always known my goal and then what would get me to my goal, you know? And I never really strayed away from that.
Yeah. And
So it's just something embedded in me, I kind of feel like,
where
along
in,
with other experiences.
where in America did you grow up?
Northern California. So like up in the redwoods and the vineyards.
Oh, nice. Okay. So it's so different. We've always joked about separating Northern from Southern California, because it's like two different
Seriously
worlds.
though, the people, everything is just the energy, it's crazy.
How do you like LA and all that? Like the whole culture?
I mean, I like it. I like both parts of California for different reasons. I think in LA, it's really, really important to be very strong-minded and to know who you are prior to moving here, and to just
Yeah.
like know your goals, kind of like I said earlier. But I like it. I have like a positive perspective on it for sure. Um, yeah, I think it's just like another stage of my life that I'm just kind of taking day by day. So I don't really have a negative opinion
Yeah.
about it at all.
Did you come down with you to LA with like your besties, or did you find friends here? How did that work?
Well, I came to LA with just that one friend that you met, and we only knew each other like 6 months before, so we were like somewhat close. And then I actually met one of my really close friends right now down in LA, and then he kind of introduced me to like this place where like they would let influencers stay at their house in exchange for like posting for them. So I
Okay.
did that for the first month and a half, maybe month or two. They're so amazing. They helped me with so much. And they kind of helped introduce me to everyone. So I owe it to them, because that's how I kind of got it was so easy for me to like meet everyone and kind of get into that little social media circle.
Yeah.
And then
That,
of course, like, in this industry, people just DM each other and everyone knows everyone.
okay.
Yeah.
So for someone who's a little bit on the older side like me, I don't say how old I am, but this whole phenomena, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I know of a lot of like the social media world that's pretty interesting how it goes. Like there seems to be power in numbers, like you have like the Ace family who like is a whole family and they have kind of their story and they're on YouTube and doing their thing. And then there's these clubhouses, I understand. And so there's almost like you have people kind of coming together, either as family or friends or people who are meeting in those houses and become friends. And like, so how much of those friendships would you say are like truly genuine where you like love hanging out with them outside of the clubhouses and you guys do stuff, or how much of it is just kind of like more of a, almost like when you go to a playhouse to do a play or
A
like
collab. You just
yeah,
hang out when you make videos together.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how much of
Um,
like true friendships and
Thankfully, in the clubhouse, we definitely are all really close friends. Like me and Abby, we kind of like started it together with a few other people, and we already had such a solid friendship to start off with. And we kind of already knew the other girls, and the other girls that we added, they're quite similar to us. So it was really, really easy to connect with them. And then my experience with the whole Hype House, I started off becoming friends with them and everything, and I think that sometimes money and fame gets in the way with certain people. And unfortunately, it kind of ended badly. But I would say for the most part, everyone is friends in these content houses. I know the Sway Boys, they all hang out with each other
yeah.
outside of creating content together. So I would say it's all pretty real for the most part.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have patients in so many different, almost like cliques. I mean, we used to call them cliques when I went to high school, but like these different like groups of friends and people in entertainment. And it's interesting. You'll like operate or do something on one friend or one person, and then that whole group kind of comes in and sees you. So you like meet other people in that circle.
Yeah.
So there's like circles in social media. There's circles in like entertainment. There's circles in sports. Like I've done
Yeah,
like
it's
operate
crazy.
on sports wives, and then all of a sudden like a bunch of NFL or NBA wives come into, and like it's pretty fascinating how there's circles in every aspect of life, and the circle you're in is pretty influential right now, and even like I have daughters, and like I think one of them knows about you through TikTok, and that's how they know.
Oh,
So what's how do you like TikTok? Is that your favorite? Like, what would you say your favorite social media like outlet is right now to work on?
yeah, my favorite platform is probably Instagram just because like I love like having like a vision of a picture and then doing whatever I can to create it. Like it just makes me so happy and just creating vibes. TikTok, I honestly like I started off feeling like a almost like a parent trying to like be on social media. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? There's always like that's kind of how I felt. I was trying to do TikTok. I'm like, ah but that kind of got easier. And I started to grow off that, especially with like working with like the Hype House. That definitely helped with TikTok. But overall, Instagram, I'd say. I like YouTube too because I feel like I can like fully express who I am as a person on there. Um, but I don't know. I think I like
yeah,
Instagram most. It's the
yeah.
one I've mastered.
Yeah, YouTube is cool because it's long format, and even though everyone's attention span is in general low these days, not a lot of people read books, etc. On
Yeah.
YouTube, I feel like I could make a video that's a little longer than 3 or 4 minutes, and hopefully, at least if you're interested in plastic surgery, you want to get information or be somewhat entertained, people will pay attention longer than 3 or 4 minutes. TikTok is what, literally 15 seconds, right?
Yeah, it's literally
It's
15
great.
seconds.
So like what, and you're not throwing shade at me. I don't care. I have thick skin. I've accomplished a lot in my life. It's hard to accomplish what I've accomplished
Yeah.
in a short period of time. So you kind of become a certain age by the time you're comfortable in your skin like me. So I don't care about the whole ageism and all that. So I want to hear it from Daisy Keech. Like, what is a good age for TikTok, or do you think everyone should be allowed? Because some people say if you're older than a certain age, like you shouldn't be messing with TikTok, but
I
some of the
mean, no,
videos have
not
like
at all.
grandpas in them, and they're funny and
I
hilarious.
mean, I say you do you. Why does there have to be an age on anything like that? Like on social media, like who cares? Like if it makes you happy making them, whether you're older or younger, like do it. Like you're still that same person you were like when you were young, like you're still the same body and the same soul. So like
Exactly.
you just aged and everyone is gonna age and like, like who cares? If
Yeah.
you like to do it, like then you do it. That's how I see it.
That's a
Like, I
good.
don't want people to be so judgmental sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. And it's, because there's a lot of the TikTok stars, and I'm just getting to kind of know their names from my daughter, but like they're basically like much younger than you even, right? I mean, you're pretty young. You can't even
Um,
yet technically, but how old are like the average TikTok stars?
well, yeah, I guess I would say they're anywhere from like 15 to like 21, maybe 22.
Wow.
I would say, but usually they're younger than me. But there are a couple that are a little bit older.
Yeah. Wow, I can't imagine like at 15 having to like manage, especially the ones that blow up, like managing or anything with like I'm sure their parents help and they have guidance because at 15 I could not imagine managing any kind of career, let alone something that exposes me to thousands or millions of people. That's a lot of
I
pressure.
mean, yeah, I can't imagine because like for me, I blew up at 18 and I was already out here in LA like taking care of myself. So I couldn't imagine even like being in school and having like the backlash from like your peers in high school or wherever
It's
you
hard
are
enough.
in life. Like that would be really hard. So I don't know how they deal with it either. Like props to them.
Yeah. So the people you grew up with that like see you kind of rising to this fame and everything, are they all pretty nice or have you noticed a little bit of hate? And
Um,
how does
I
that
get I get mixed. It's definitely mixed. So they're all for sure either like really really nice to my face or they'll stare at me from afar and not say hi because they're like worried that I won't say hi. Like because the
Yeah.
whole like typical like oh she's famous now she won't say hi to me So then they start to act on that without knowing how I actually feel. So I've gotten a little bit of that, but I've also gotten some people just trying to kiss my ass for sure, and I can just kind of see right through it because
Yeah.
I've learned so much about people by being out here in LA.
Yep.
But my close friends that I've had since like day one, they're so supportive and they're so happy for me. And they're just like, it's shocking to them to see how far I've come in just like 1 year. Like for me, I haven't even mentally caught up with it. Like I'm just literally just going day by day, and I haven't ever like looked back and be like, wow, I literally had my stuff packed to my two front seats a year ago, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and
Well,
just living like that for a long time.
if I could give you fatherly advice or someone who is, once again, I'm not saying my age, but I'm not older than 50 and I'm not younger than 38. But anyway, so um, I would say there's no rush to like, speed up the aging process because trust me, stress will come at you. You'll have responsibilities as you get older. And I
Yep.
see so many younger people taking on a fair amount of responsibility, mostly social responsibility, which means your personality, your image, everything exposed to millions of people when a lot of people at your age or younger, or even people around my age even, have trouble handling how they're perceived just among their friends or society, let alone millions of people.
Yeah.
And then the comments are so rude sometimes and so disrespectful. And
It's
uh,
hard for sure.
yeah, I hope that you've learned how to have thick skin to ignore a lot of those because I've had to ignore them in my, believe it or not, I don't have fame or anything, but I've had success and I've seen it around me too. You really have to have a way to like automatically shut off comments that don't serve your inside spiritual like
I
strength.
mean, for sure. And like, I kind of learned how to do that at like a young age just because I had like troubles with girls and stuff in high school. And I never felt like accepted or like loved or that I fit in. So I've kind of already learned how to cope with that to a certain degree. But then you go on social media and it's like millions of different perceptions about you, and no one knows how you feel unless you speak to them directly. So they all just
Yeah.
assume everything. And I get these comments all the time of people telling me how my life went. And I'm like, really? Because that's how it happened. Because like you were there. Totally. And like, obviously, like, that bothers me, but then I have to remember like I'm the same before the comment and I'm the same after the comment. So what did that person with those words coming out of their mouth or them typing that, how does that change me? It doesn't at all, you know?
Yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
just kind of had to like come up with some sort of like, I don't know, coping phrases that I tell myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That,
it's hard for sure.
and I'm teaching my daughters those strengthening kind of exercises and to always hold your own and be yourself. And support group is
Totally.
so important. Talking
Yeah.
about sports, so you sought me out for breast augmentation. Now, just so everybody out there knows, if you're having plastic surgery or any type of work, if you're 18 or under, family, a guardian, somebody has to come with you. So you are over the age of 18, so you can seek out a breast augmentation on your own legally. And I felt like you were very mature and you understood the risks and we talked, so I was comfortable proceeding regardless of what the legal age is.
Yeah.
So you had breast augmentation, and then we did the flash recovery breast dog, which I think I explained it to you pretty well. And it seems like you pretty much had that experience. I don't know if you have friends who've had breast dogs in other places where it hurt a lot more, or they couldn't move
Oh
their
yeah,
arm.
my mom told me about her experience like way back in the day, and it was definitely different than mine.
Yeah. So just so you all know, the majority of breast augmentations, the way they're done is a lot of people don't pay attention to the trauma, et cetera, that's happening under the chest muscle that we lift up to create a pocket for the breast implant. And the way I do it, it's very minimally invasive. So everyone has different pain thresholds, but the majority of time people can recover in almost 24 hours, where within a day or two, they're pretty good. Whereas the old techniques that a lot of people still use, there's a lot of trauma to the rib cage and muscle. And some people can't even lift their arms up past shoulder for like 3-4 weeks. But you
Really?
recovered fairly well from what I saw. And I
Yeah, I
think we
think
went,
that same day I like went like that. I was at the Whole Foods parking lot
remember,
getting food the same day.
yep. So someone's putting self-promoting, and I'm like, we are on my Instagram business page doing a live with a patient. So obviously, yes, I am going to promote my practice and business, and
But I
just, and
suppose
I'll,
like why wouldn't you, you
I
know?
know. Well, that's what
Like you
Instagram,
worked so hard to get to where you are. Why
yeah.
like, you
I
know?
mean, my opinion on Instagram for my purposes is I kind of want to create a personal page that shows my interest in like music and different things. And I kind of weave that into my
Yeah.
business page a little bit, but it's kind of weird sometimes and hard. But my Instagram was created solely for my business because I have a business that's very visual. It's plastic surgery. So
People
Instagram,
want to see
I
before and
found
afters. Yeah.
Instagram is the perfect social media or outlet for me to show my work visually because it's a visual, basically album. So it was perfect when I recognized, and I was one of the first 20 plastic surgeons to be on Instagram. There's like all these research papers
Really?
out on it. Yep, I've been around for a
Oh.
long, long time. So, so your breast aug experience was good. You're happy about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very.
And you have support among most of your friends and your family about when you did it, right? I think your
Oh,
mom.
for sure. I mean, I do now because they see how much more like confident it made me and like how much better my clothes fit now.
Yeah.
And like they kind of learned about me that I'm a very determined person, that I want to do something that's going to happen, whether someone's opinion is there or not. So they kind of didn't really have a choice but to be supportive.
God, yeah, exactly. So if you're one of your friends in the clubhouse right now said they want to do it, you'd support them, probably go with them to the consult. Since I've known you, you seem that kind of person.
Yeah, of course.
So what kind of stuff do you guys do? Are you living there like all the time? It's hard to travel now because of COVID. You guys are staying
Yeah.
safe, obviously.
Yeah. We're actually planning a trip to go somewhere very, very soon, which we're really excited about. And it's just going to be only the people in Clubhouse, obviously, because of COVID. And I think we actually might be lucky enough to get a jet or something. So
Oh,
that would be really cool and really safe for us. Um, and yeah, other than that, we've just been, making TikToks, trying to stay busy, trying to come up with like YouTube ideas, concepts, coming out with merch very, very soon. And I'm also coming out with some of my own lines and like brands that I'm really excited about. So I'm like trying to stay focused on things like that rather than like laying in bed all day and like being sad and depressed. Because during this time, it's so easy, because you
yeah.
have to stay home. It's so easy to fall into like that dark hole. But it's like it takes the willpower and like just like the self-awareness to get up and do stuff and
I know.
remind yourself to be happy.
I think we're gonna hopefully be able to start surgery soon. And I'm so used to like I don't think it's been decades, like years and years that I've been able to get up at like 10 or 11 a.m. if I want. And like I know so
Yeah.
many people, like even my own parents, my dad would wake up at 6 a.m. and go do yoga. And now he gets up at like 10:30 a.m. and he said he hasn't done that since he was a teenager. So it's
Really?
this whole COVID thing is hugely life changing. So the main thing,
Really?
obviously, guys, be safe. I don't know who does your all. So a house like that, I've always been curious when everyone's living and probably none of you feel like doing groceries. Like, who figures out how to do groceries? Does anyone cook? Like, where's the food come from?
Well, actually, my mom, she just got hired as the house chef and she
Oh,
cooks like 3 or 4 nights a week. So we're super blessed to have her. And I also, she's like a mom, so she likes like grocery shop for me and like
nice.
do my laundry. So I'm so, so happy
You
I
are
have her now.
spoiled. Oh my God, that's awesome.
I know, and I'm like, it makes me really happy because, like I said, when I moved here, I didn't have anyone, and now I have my mom and my brother coming. Oops, and my brother coming out. So that makes me so happy.
See, that's pretty cool. See, I think
Yeah.
that's the happening. Like when one of the siblings or the kids kind of gains some success, they move away. That shows what kind of family you have. The fact that they're coming towards you and wanting to be supportive of what you're doing and gravitating towards you, that is awesome. That explains why you're so cool the way you are, is because you have such good support.
Yeah,
So
I'm so blessed.
all right, so is it, it's obviously not a house open to like whoever. So how do you guys decide who's able to come visit, who's not? Like, what do you guys, how restrictive is it?
It's very restrictive right now for sure. We make sure that people have been quarantined, and like we usually have like a little fever test that we do just to make sure.
Oh, cool.
And we have them wear masks, and then for the people that work here, they literally just go home and then here, and then home and then here. So it's like very, very safe. They don't go anywhere else. So we are pretty protected here for sure.
Okay, awesome.
And it's pretty strict.
So everyone always asks me, and like, I can't really answer for you, so I don't usually answer. I just kind of guess. But a lot of people that come in for like breast augmentation ask me what cup size you ended up being. So what's your, do you mind saying cup sizes?
I got 310 cc, right?
Yeah.
And then moderate plus and
Good.
silicone.
That.
Yes.
The breast implant size, I ask them all the time. What cup size bikini do you end up wearing now because of that?
A small.
A small, okay.
And then in Victoria's Secret, I'm a 32D.
32D, yeah. So I always joke that Victoria's real secret is that they always tell you you're bigger than you are. So most likely,
it's true, to make you feel more confident.
I know. So I think you're probably realistically a 32C. Not that bigger is better necessarily, but they just do that, I think, because their bras, a lot of them have a lot of padding. So bras are almost like 100cc implants. I'm going to see if you're okay with it. Take on some questions. I'm sure a lot of the questions will be annoying and inappropriate. But
as per usual.
Yes, I know.
There'll be some good ones.
They seem to have a problem with your doctor being over the age of 40 and talking to you, which makes no sense to me. But anyway.
None at all. They're going to think what they want.
Can Daisy say hi? Yeah, but who's she saying? Okay, so let's see. What's your favorite music? And someone told, get this mold man off. So then why are they on my Instagram?
Right, why don't you guys get off, huh?
That's so mean. Why am I old? I don't feel old. I don't feel old.
You don't look old.
Thank you. So what kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of like R&B, I would say, like a lot of like SZA, Kaylani, I don't really know how to say her name. I also really like J. Cole, and I like Kid Cudi, and I like
J. Cole is awesome.
I like Jack Harlow too.
Yeah, I love J. Cole poetry.
And then I also listen to country, and then sometimes I listen to like 70s music, so it really depends.
Nice. I listen to 70s music not because I was born in that time period, but because I was a kid when it was coming out. But some of that music's classic rock. It lives forever. You know, Led Zeppelin, The Doors, and I'm always impressed when people of your age or even a little older than you know Rolling Stones and like The Doors or Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, because that music was on a level.
Yeah, all those songs are definitely very familiar to me. I can't necessarily like name any because I'm super bad at that, but like when I hear it, I can like vibe to it and like sing along and remember, and like it reminds me a little bit of my childhood. So yeah.
Someone's asking what your height is. Do you mind telling them that or no?
Yeah, I'm 5'6".
5'6". Yeah, you're pretty tall. And when you wear those like tennis shoes that are all trendy right now, they're kind of like bulky. You're like almost 6 feet tall with them. You're almost.
I know, right?
I know you come in all
5'9".
These kids come in wearing those shoes and they're almost, I'm like, whoa, you're 6 feet tall. And then when they take them off, all of a sudden I'm looking down. Let me see what else we got here. It's hard to get this. There we go. So what's this whole thing with the dancing that people are like talking about? Do you think you need to be a professional dancer at TikTok or what?
No, I mean, I think I'm gonna take dance lessons just to like learn, because I move so awkwardly sometimes, and I'm like, oh my god, that looks so much better in my head. Like what? But I mean, just be you, you know? Like usually I just troll and clown the dances because that's all I can do, because I don't know how to move right.
Yeah. So people are asking stuff which I think it's getting into drama. We're not gonna get into Clubhouse drama. They're asking questions about other people that were, I think, in the former Clubhouse you were at, so we're not going to talk about that. But But as far as just personal, we'll just kind of sign off soon a little bit. If any of you have any questions about plastic surgery, go ahead and ask a few. I might actually test Daisy and see if she can answer them, because that'll be cool to see how much your knowledge is.
Okay,
but
I'll try.
before COVID, when you were traveling, like what are some of the places in the world or country you've been to that you like and would love to go back to?
So I actually haven't traveled much because when I moved here, like I've only been here for a year and I was so busy. But I have been on a cruise with my family, hit like a couple spots, and then I went to Anguilla, I would say the end of January, and I went with Earthpix. He's absolutely amazing. Like it was
Oh,
such
cool.
an amazing experience. Like
I
we
follow
had
him.
like a, huh?
I follow him.
Yeah. Yeah, we had like a butler, a chef, a private beach, our own villa, and like I was like, wow, this is not normal people traveling. Like this is crazy.
Nice.
So obviously I loved that place. And it's so beautiful. Like the water is just so blue and so nice.
Have you been? So you haven't been to Europe yet, right?
No, but I plan to
You
soon.
guys do that. So would it be hard to travel as the whole, like, what's the name of the house you're in again?
Clubhouse.
Okay, so Clubhouse. So the clubhouse you're in, it's Beverly Hills Clubhouse, right? Are you guys in supposedly
Yeah.
Beverly Hills? So could you all travel? How many are in there? Could you all travel together to go to like a place, or would you have to like break
Oh, for
off?
sure. I mean, we'd make it happen no matter what, because like that would kind of suck to leave someone out, you know?
Yeah.
So no matter what, we'd figure out whether we had to be on different flights or whatever.
So how many are there? Can you list all the people there?
Yeah, shit. Okay, so we got Isaac Presley,
Mm-hmm.
we got Chase Keith, we got Mariana Moras. I can never say her last name. We got me, we got Abby Ray, we got Kinsey, we got Charlie Jordan, and am I missing someone?
And I met Abby, right? Did I meet Abby?
Yeah.
Abby.
Yeah, you met Abby. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. I think
Yeah.
so.
I think I met Abby.
I think that's it. Am I missing someone? I think that's it.
So that's not that many, but I understand now why you would have to get a private jet, especially now to do what you're doing. So that's pretty smart. You don't have to tell us where you're going, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, you'll find out.
It's the best thing. That's the worst thing about, I think, this whole Corona thing, other than us not being able to have human touch and contact and like be human like that, is not being able to
Wait,
travel.
someone's asking me if I got a rib removed. No, I did not get a rib removed. My waist is natural. So is my butt.
Let me tell you, even if Daisy came and said, I'll pay you $1 million, can you remove my ribs? I'm going to say no, because I think that is ridiculous to do that. So, you're just blessed. No, Daisy, I'll tell you, like Daisy, and I've seen figures like her go through, like, I've seen different aged versions of your figure. Like, I already know what you're going to look like if you have 4 kids. You know, I've seen it happen.
Hopefully good.
She's just kind of genetically blessed, where, you know, when we're all made, you know, and as fetus, we take after our mom and dad. And sometimes if you look at old pictures of like your grandma or your great uncle, you'll be like, oh my God, that's me. Sometimes you take after some of your ancestors really closely. It's kind of scary. But yeah, in general, she has a waist hip ratio that's just naturally like it is. And part of it's because she's young, but it's just because of the way she was made. So it looks like she may have had her rib removed, or she wore a waist trainer from the age of 4 years old. But I think it's just the genetics. So everybody relax. Yeah, you haven't had anything else done surgically as far as I'm concerned, and we already certified your buttock. And and I like how you TM that. So did you actually? So you're.
No. It was just to be funny.
I think it's kind of clever though, because when we talked about it, you might as well take that credit, because you are the first to have that certified.
Shit, maybe I will.
The other person I was going to certify was very well known too, but she should have done it, because she would have had that accolade under her name, and why not? Let's see if there's a question. I'm going to see. Oh, okay. So somebody was asking, so you had breast augmentation, flash recovery. We call it flash recovery breast augmentation with me. So do you know, other than flash recovery, like the old school normal way, how long is the recovery for like a typical breast aug that's not done the way I do it? Do you know?
Would it be 16 weeks?
Oh, that's a lot. Close. It's about 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh.
So yeah.
Like half that. Yeah,
so like I do a lot of like makeup artists and hairdressers who have to like.
I was thinking like actually like fully recovered.
Oh yeah.
So like where you can do push-ups and everything, right?
Yeah, that's you're right. That's considered to be full recovery is when you can put pressure on your chest muscle or work out. In almost all plastic surgery, whether it's a nose job, breast augmentation, or even the S-curve buttock lifting I do, take about 6 weeks. But with the S-curve, for some reason, like the recovery is pretty good. And I've had people that work for me that you've seen in the office who had it done. They came
Hmm.
back to work at like 8 or 9 days. So it's actually not that bad.
Wow.
Weeks. But you're right, for like full on jumping, running, working out, jogging, like intense training, 6 weeks in general for almost all plastic surgery. So I have a question for you. And some people were actually, it was only one person kind of trolling and hating when I gave your mom a compliment and said, you guys look similar. And your mom actually wrote me back and said, thank you. You guys do look a lot alike. So,
Yeah, I'm blessed.
and thank God, like I think I could tolerate being 16, 15, 18 and being somewhat famous on social media, but I don't know. It does take a lot of thick skin because even me, I was taken back and I was so easily offended because
Yeah.
I looked up the meaning of the word they used and it was kind of funny after I read it because it's a funny name, but it's called simp. So
Hmm.
simp to me, I thought they were calling me simple and then I looked it up. That goes to show you how old I am because I didn't know what it was. And then it said someone who's being a fool or acting a fool by complimenting a girl. Is that true?
It's more of like how I see it and how it's used today is like someone who's like it would be like a mega fan, like someone who like is almost like obsessed with you, or they like are really
So
really
like,
into you or something. Like, oh, you're simping for them, you know? Like you give
so
someone a
borderline.
compliment, and they're like, oh, you simp, like in a jokingly way.
Oh, okay. So is it
Yeah.
different than Stan?
Huh?
Is it different than Stan?
Yeah,
When
I've
someone's
never really like. I think stan is like you stand behind it, like you believe in it, or like you know,
okay.
like
So
you really
more,
support it. Yeah.
so Stan seems to be a little bit more of a positive term. Simp seems to be a little bit of a
It's
like
like
you're
a
cocky.
clowning type of thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
wrote that person back. I'm like, dude, she's a patient of mine. We all love her at the office, and her mom is gorgeous, and they look like each other. I'm gonna make a compliment on Mother's Day. I mean, back off. It was
I mean,
hilarious.
people are just so bored in their houses right now. They have to like be negative, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it, but kudos to you. And I'm if the little the success that you've had during this time that blowing up, I think you've managed it really well.
Thank
So I
you.
congratulate you. You're awesome. And the fact that you said like that you'd come on live with me too is awesome because a lot of people even people who I've collabed with, like they don't want to make the time and stuff. So I really appreciate you doing it. I think
Oh
both
yeah.
your fans and mine have gotten to know our worlds, which are so different. And it's interesting how the two worlds collided through plastic surgery in a sense. So it's pretty cool.
I mean, I've
Uh,
always like appreciated you and your work, and like I remember literally from like day one, like even before I started social media, I dreamed of you doing my boob job. And so like this is like the least I could do, you know? Like I'm so so blessed I got that opportunity with you. So,
so
and I
you were a
wanted like
stan.
other people to know, you know?
So would you have been a stan of mine?
Of course. Of
Got it.
course. Full stand.
Okay. So I'm not simping, but you're standing, but I can be a stan. It's all very confusing. I'm sure it's going to change in a few months. But anyway, Daisy, unless you have something else you're dying to say, stay safe, be healthy. It was really awesome of you to do this. And I think my fans and your fans, the majority of them enjoyed it. Maybe they learned something and got to know you better.
Yeah, I
So,
hope so.
yeah. So be
Well,
safe
thank
when
you
you
so
travel, though.
much. Likewise.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon
It was
in the
so good to
office.
talk to you.
Say hi. We're going to be open
Yes,
soon. So I'll let you know and we'll see you soon.
please do. I miss you guys.
Same here. Take care, Daisy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.